We came to run up a bag today. Yes, yes. We came to run up a bag today. Yo, 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 what is going on YouTube? It is Karma Speaks back with another video. I came across this video on TikTok and I just knew I had to share it with you guys. So let's run it up and see what he's talking about.
So I got divorced about 7 years ago, and the judge in the case awards my ex-wife half my house. I say my house because I made the entire down payment on a house we only lived in for 3 years. But the judge awards it 50-50. What am I going to do? So anyway, we lived together in this house for 2 years as a divorced pair, right? We couldn't sell. The housing market was bad. We shared a son together, and there were some issues there. And it was a weird situation. Like, we were both living on different levels of the home. We would both bring other people over. We were both dating other people, but yet she would still do my laundry and she would still do the food shopping.
I don't know about y'all, but imagine your ex-wife living above you and getting crushed. Ain't that crazy? I don't know how I would feel about that. I don't know how I would take that. It's like you guys are living in such close proximity. I mean, she's right above you, right? Or below you, but she's right there and she's bringing over dudes and getting crushed. She's getting crushed. Right above you. She's getting crushed. And you got your son. Imagine that. Imagine it's like you got to send your son downstairs to be with your dad for the night because she's getting crushed right upstairs. That's mad crazy. That's mad crazy. Another thing that he said was he was talking about he put down the down payment and that's why it's his house and whatnot, which of course it is. My question is, did he solely make the monthly payments as well as was the down payment significant enough, like 20% down? Because if you're going to sit here and say, I put, let's just say it's like 10,000 down on the house, like 3%, you put $10,000 down, then it's kind of just like, okay, you guys made the monthly payments together. She could just easily give you 5 bands and then call it 50-50. Like that's nothing. But I don't really know the situation, but it's very interesting that he says that.
And then one day she gets into a car accident. It's an icy morning, one of those winter icy mornings, and her car hits a telephone pole. And although she was physically okay, the car was totaled. Well, guess who didn't have gap insurance, right? When we were married, I used to say, you always got to get gap insurance. And she's like, what are you, my father? Why do you always have to say stuff like that? Well, guess what? I know things. You should have had gap insurance. Now she doesn't have a car. So she asked me for a $4,000 loan, and she played the whole card. Well, I drive our son around. Do you want him to be in an old jalopy? Fine. I will give you the $4,000 with the assumption that you would pay me back $200 a month until it's paid off. That was the deal. So her and her best friend go to the car dealer, and they're there, they find a car, and then she calls me and I'm at work. She goes, did you move the $4,000 over to my account yet? And I'm like, yeah, I'm about to do it now. But I'm not doing it unless that house split is 60-40. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm talking about you're going to sign a paper that gives me 60% of this house, or you're getting ugats. I'm not giving you anything. She's like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, I am. Do I sound like I'm kidding? So that's why the house split turned out to be 60-40.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He played his cards right. He played his cards right. I would have been in that motherfucker asking for more. Pardon my tongue, but I would have been in there asking for more. 60-40. I put down the down payment and I don't know how the monthly payments were split up, but if I was paying the entirety of the monthly payments, if not more, I'm asking for it to be 75, 25, 100, 0, whatever it is. And for all I know, I mean, I don't know this guy's situation, but for me, every time I think about but what about your son or what about the custody? And I would take my son in a heartbeat. I would take my son in a heartbeat because she's still got to work. So it's like there's no difference between the amount of time that a person has to work between a mother and a father. And so it's like it's not a time difference unless you're just doing it to get child support. Then yeah, you're not gonna be doing anything because you're getting all this child support. But it's just like, man, it's always good to see a dude take a W in any sort of divorce or a financial circumstance like that because for as long as we have been here, at least a lot of women have been able to run up a bag with this whole divorce thing, and it's really messed up households. And I really do think that it's a system that it's almost incentivized for us to like break up the family, you know? It's so weird. Like it sounds like very like conspiracy theorist type thing, but it's just like once a lady, and I say ladies is it's because they filed for most divorces. Like over 80% of divorces are initiated by the woman, right? And I think most of them are for financial reasons and not even for, infidelity or anything like that. So taking that into account, a lot of these ladies, they'll sit here and they'll, get these divorces because, they are going through a rough patch or they're unhappy or they think they could find better and all this and that and all this and that. And the grass ain't always greener on the other side, but a lot of times the dude gets shot in the back for it. Like you'll put in all this effort into the relationship without any caution. You're just like all love, no logistics behind it, and then you get screwed over in the end. You get your house taken, you get your cars taken, you get your 401k taken. She's gonna get half your pension when you guys, or like when you decide to retire. All this and that. Like I've seen all the different scenarios, and most of them, the dude gets absolutely obliterated in the end. Just to keep it G with you, just to keep it G, most dudes get absolutely obliterated, and you got to start from the beginning. And based off of when most people get divorced, which is probably in their 40s or so, you don't have the energy to be restarting. You don't have the energy to be restarting. If me and my lady, because we have this conversation about prenups and making sure we get everything situated beforehand, because I know I'm gonna be running up this bag. I'm gonna be running up this bag like a madman. I just will, and there has to be contingencies in place for that. And she's gonna run up a bag too. I mean, she's cybersecurity and an actress. And once that actress stuff like really blows up, she's gonna make an egregious bag that I can't even touch. I can't. You know how much actors make? A whole lot of money. So yeah, she wants a prenup, I want a prenup, and we're gonna be straight. But it's like when having these conversations, we really have to go over like the amount of input that we're putting into the relationship. And for this gentleman, he put down the down payment. He probably was making most of the monthly payments, and then she's getting half his stuff. And so he made a good play to where now he's able to get 60%. So in the finalizing of the sale, or if not a sale, he gets to keep the house because he has majority ownership over it. But yeah, man, like it's a broken system because it just incentivizes women to divorce too much. You think you're gonna run up a bag, or you even marry a dude with money just to divorce him and run up a bag that way. And it's so messed up. Yeah, it's so messed up. Just having these women just try to like benefit off of your dime, especially when the dime was made prior to the relationship or prior to the marriage, right? Like again, another personal experience where it's like, imagine I ran up this bag to $1 million before I met my lady, right? Or before we got married. And then I made another $1 million over the course of our relationship. And God forbid, but let's say we get divorced. Do I think she's entitled to $2 million, or do I think that she's entitled to maybe 500,000, the million that we made in our marriage as a unit, as a one entity, right? I believe she's entitled to the $500,000, if that. If that, I don't even think that she would take it just because she sees how hard I work, and she sees that I kill myself over just like trying to run up this bag. I feel like she would feel bad if that were the case. I mean, who knows? I'm not naive, so you always got to just like watch out for certain things. But that's just my thinking about it. But yeah, it's so crazy how you can do and put in all this work as a dude, and the system basically just incentivizes somebody to leave you, to be happy, get crushed right upstairs from you, and now you're left with nothing, or half of what you had, if that, and then less custody. Even if it's split custody, she probably gets some more days than you do. There's only 7 days in a week. So I don't know. That's just my thinking with it. Appreciate anybody that watched this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate anybody that watched this. Peace.